Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Open Mic Foundation. I am your host and founder of the foundation, and welcome to this afternoon and late evening show. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to see some people on. If you are on, please say hello. I just want to introduce you to our storytellers today, but before I kick off, I just want to give you a little bit of information. As you're aware, and I've been posting for the past week or so, we will be hosting our next Open Mic Foundation, the Resurrection exhibition. That is coming up on the 3rd of September. And we're going to be hosting it in Gauteng, which is in Midrand at 45 on Donovan. So I want to, bring forth to you guys who are the storytellers that will be joining us this week. So that is what today's show is about. And then in the next 2 weeks, I will be bringing on the artists that will be with the storytellers and then also the poets that's there as well. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope that you support local businesses and support the artists specifically, and the foundation. Right? There's some great work that has been going on behind the scenes. That is why I have these story talks, with the exhibition, with all the storytellers, and then also with the artists to give you some insights as to what actually takes place in the background that you don't see besides the day that basically you come on onto the show itself. So if you are looking for tickets, I am going to put up a link at in the comment section for you guys to have a look at it, and for you to pass it on and to purchase some tickets. Tickets are on sale at the moment. All right. So let us kick off the show, and I hope you welcome all the storytellers on. Hello, 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 ladies, and welcome. How are you guys doing today?
Well, thanks, and you?
All right. Hey, Anna Marie.
Good evening, sis. I'm doing very well, thank you. And it's such a great
Oh,
pleasure and a privilege to be here.
oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you for
We
that.
are, yeah, we are missing Martin. I'm hoping that he joins us as we move along the talk, and hopefully he joins us soon. And if not, we're gonna continue with the two ladies that on. We had to move the show a little bit later due to unforeseen, circumstances that happened. So we had to move it on later. So my apologies to you guys, but welcome everyone. Please say hi in the chats. Let's make this interactive. If you have any comments for our hosts and our storytellers that's on, please just share with us your comments. It would be great to hear from you as well. So let's kick off, ladies. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Anna Marie, you want to kick off first?
Yes, I'm Anne Marie Boetes. I am a mother and I'm a grandmother of three beautiful babies. I am 60 years old. I've just turned 60. So I'm celebrating this new era in my life. I'm also a student. I'm an honor student in psychology, and I'm always looking to renew myself and to find new things to do. And I think that is why I love to do this because it's something different. And it's something where you can discover something about yourself and renew yourself in the process.
I think, guys, if you know Anna Marie or if you see her at the exhibition, you would never say she's 60 at all. Not at all. I think
Thanks.
I got to know Anna
Thank
Marie now.
you.
I think it's just over a year or so, and she ain't 60. For a 6-year-old woman to study, I take my hat off to you. I can't do that. I said this to you before. No. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna
Thank
Marie.
you.
Atish?
Hi. Yeah, welcome to the show, and it's a great honor to be a part of this exhibition, other than just being a guest at the event. So yeah, I'm formerly from Devon. I live in Johannesburg at the moment, and yeah, I'm just someone who's very interested in trying to hear the other side of things, other side of people's lives, different perspectives. It's always great to know more. and kind of break those stereotypes we've created in our minds. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just really excited to be a part of Open Mic Foundation, because I really enjoy what they stand for.
And the two of you were at the last exhibition, so happened to be right.
Yeah.
You guys did attend the last exhibition. But before we go into the last exhibition, I think let's go through, what's going to be happening. So let's start by introducing just a sneak peek about what would your story be at the exhibition, and that chapter of your life that you would be sharing on the day of the exhibition. Let's not share too much because we want the people to come out and to be able to come and support you, to listen to your story. So Anna Marie, do you want to share first, some insights about your story?
Hmm. I think my story is about hope. I want to tell people that even if you're in the deepest, darkest darkness and you think this your life is at its end, you have the courage to take your life back and to live a full life again. And I'm the example. So come and listen to me, hear my story, the horrific things that happened. But here I am, and I've taken my life back, and I'm living a full, colorful life.
I think
That's it.
I think sometimes we think we can't do that the older we get, and I think you're a true example that it's never too late, right?
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and I know there's lots of men. There's a lot of men and women in the same situation, and I just want to give them that hope that you can do it. You can be
Yeah,
brave enough.
and have the courage to do so, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, Atisha.
Hmm. I think.
Yeah. So my story is pretty much a universal one that everyone, absolutely everyone, will experience at some point in their life, which has to do with grief, loss, depression, anxiety, absolutely everything that comes from it. And I've pretty much called it a necessary discomfort. And the only time I realized the value of the necessity of going through this is when it kind of readjusted, reconfigured, and basically just redefined my entire life going forward. And
Yeah,
I think it's something that's we don't talk about it enough. It's been such a taboo topic for so long that people have forgotten what it's like to be
True.
vulnerable and to actually share about what happens during that grieving process. And I think we've also defined it as, the loss of a person, whereas there's so much more that happens. It's the
yeah.
loss of yourself in that process. And that is one of the reasons why I enjoy talking about it. As horrible as the experience was, there's so much of beauty that came from it. And that is why, I'm excited to see that whole story depicted in art, because it's actually putting out there, it's putting color to the darkness that I felt. And uh, I'm actually really excited about it. I can't wait to see it.
you know, I think if COVID, I think your particular story, right? In COVID, there's been so much of loss with people. There's been so much of death that has happened. And I think at this moment in time, I think a lot of people are not aware of what to do with that loss, right? And they
Yeah.
don't understand what it means to move forward, having that loss. And it is a topic that is not being discussed. And here's the thing that people don't understand is that we all die.
Absolutely. And the fear around it is what prevents us from talking about it. Um, but it's an inevitability that's going to happen.
Yeah,
So why not celebrate your life and your journey up until you reach that point?
yeah.
We read about, oh, these are all the books about what to expect when you're expecting, what to expect when you get married. But no one tells you what to expect when there's death and
True.
grief around you. And
Absolutely. I'm not laughing. It's so ironic, right? It's so ironic, right? Because we'll look at the things that bring us joy. We look at the things that bring us happiness. Why? We associate it with positive emotions and positive feelings, and it's an all good feeling. And I mean, Anna Marie, I think you can contest with your story, not realizing that through your trauma, through your pain, through your suffering, through all of those things that we experience as humans, is that it does create to understand ourselves better, but also actually discover who we are in all of that.
Yeah. That is so true, Shess. It's really, really true. And the other thing I should say is that now it slipped my mind, but I'm sis, I am allowed to forget just now. um, yeah, but it's very rewarding. It's actually to go through trauma and to heal from it. It is extreme. It's so rewarding. It is very hard, but it's rewarding. And the fact that it's but the same thing with trauma. People don't want to talk about it. They don't want to because they always think they have to help you in some way. If they ask you if something's wrong and you say, okay, this is wrong, they think they help you and change the circumstance. So they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to even address it or even acknowledge it. Um, Yes, but it is. We learn a lot. Oh, what I wanted to say, you gain a lot of insight in your situation and also in yourself, and you learn to have empathy with other survivors of abuse and other people, survivors, but also with bullies, because in any abusive situation, there's bullying involved. So you
Yeah.
learn to you actually have empathy for bullies because you became a bully yourself just to survive.
Yeah, so true, right? And we underestimate these type of emotions that we feel. We don't even
Yeah,
acknowledge some of these emotions when feeling, whether it's abuse, whether it's
yeah,
loss, whether it's grief, whether it's, anxiety. We don't even realize why we feel the way we feel because we are so disconnected from ourselves, right? When people suffer from depression and anxiety, and it's been a topic that has been spoken quite a lot, right? Suicide is also another thing that has been, coming up a lot. I mean, my ex-husband had passed away now for a year and he committed suicide. And we underestimate how our minds bully because your biggest bully is your mind,
yeah.
and we don't
True.
realize that our mind is controlling the behavior, the thoughts, it's creating these
Mm.
emotions inside of us that only we see and feel. And we underestimate because we ignore it. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that I know ignore it and don't want to talk about it. Atishka, I don't know about
Mm.
you, but in the Indian community, I know for a fact we don't talk about things at all, right?
Not
Sorry.
really. We talk about things in code. It's like it's implied.
Yes.
There's always some other term for it. There's always something
Right?
that they refer to, but they never
Yes.
directly go to
Exactly.
anything related to mental health, especially. I mean,
Yeah.
um, it's just
It's
not something that we deal with apparently.
it's given that
Mm.
we don't talk about it, right? It's
Yeah,
given that we don't address it. It's given that we ignore it and it will go away. It will just disappear. The
Yeah,
famous one I've realized is that it will resolve itself.
yeah. But it's in all communities. Don't make a mistake. It's in every community because there's
I
stigma.
have learned that.
And what would the
Yes, I have
neighbors say?
learned
And what would the family say? And what would the
that. Oh,
brothers and the sisters say? And the
yeah.
aunts.
Oh, yeah. It's everybody but you, right? Yeah.
yeah,
So let's get
Yes.
back, right?
Yeah.
So if I have to ask, you have been paired up with an artist. So Anna Marie, you have been paired up with a painter, and Atishka, you've been paired up with a chalk sketch artist, right? I think she is using chalk, right? From what I understand.
yeah. I believe so.
Yeah, she's using chalk, right? So you both have been working with your artist and preparing the last couple of months because it's its own process. How has that process been for you guys? Speaking to someone knowing that she's going or he is gonna make the story alive in a different form, right?
Mm.
Basically, this thing is coming alive, right? It's like giving birth to something and seeing it, right? And it's that interpretation. Tishka, do you wanna start us off with that process? How's it been going?
Yeah, it's been such an enlightening process. Purely because again, you've paired me up with someone who's creating art with chalk, right? Um, and the flimsiness of chalk is what stood out for me. It's that, it's
Mhm.
dust, it's ash. Eventually, it's us becoming that. And having her being a part of my story was like, oh, okay, there's clearly a deeper meaning into the whole pairing in the first place.
So I have that. I have that effect. I mean, Anna Marie had a moment herself as well. I do have that effect, and
Yeah.
that is why I pair you
Yeah.
up, because there's meaning and there's emotional attachment that comes behind each story, and pairing up an artist with a storyteller is not something that I take lightly, because I have to get to know you, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I also have to get, okay, what would be the best possible way to bring something, this story, and give it the life that it needs. And then I have these conversations with the artists, understand them before I can even ask him, what type of art do you do? Right?
I mean, she's been amazing because we had
Yeah.
the initial conversation around this is my story, and she could resonate to that with that to some extent because she's also experienced loss.
Okay.
And as we were having the conversation around it, we understood that there was so much that we need to bring across in the art. The whole fact that there is a death, a rebirth, a resurrection within our journey that comes from that. So, we had those conversations. We had a lot of drafts going back and forth where we were like, okay, does this encapsulate the feeling that you had at the time? Does this encapsulate how you felt when your life changed? And every time we dissected the different, the sketches that she kept sending through, we had more and more insight into the whole journey until we reached a point where, okay, this is it, this is what it's going to look like, and this is what I'm happy with. And now she's actually putting the final touches to that. So I'm just really excited to see what she's taken out from the whole thing, because based on her interpretation and what she sent as drafts to me, it was spot on. You could actually feel the emotion through her work. It was amazing.
Wow, wow, that's deep on another level, right? Because to have that type of level of connection, and to, and I see where you're going with the entire, chalk and ash, and yeah, it's I think someone that has lost understands, the deeper meaning, and understand where does this lead to as well. So, standing, I'm sure it's something that you are looking forward to see what this evolves into as well at the end of it. Anna Marie, how's it with you? How's it going with Antonella? It's Antonella, yeah.
Um, oh, it's going. Yeah, it's Angela. It's going very well. But I actually want to come back to Tishka, and that's why I love this concept, because the fact that the emotions are captured in a painting. How amazing is that? I think, and your story is there, and I think that is why I love, love, love this concept. But with Antonella, your pairing was so 5,000% correct, because we just clicked. We just looked at each other and we clicked. And she understands the situation. She has insight. And what's interesting for me is that to find somebody that probes, that wants to know everything about you. It's like going into a relationship. When you're first
Yeah.
in a relationship, that person wants to know everything about you. um if you tell a story to someone that asks one or two questions, then it's over. But now she wants to know everything about me, and the probing, wants to know my story in detail. That is very unfamiliar, but it's also a very good process for me to be able to share deeply. um, and with us, um, because we clicked immediately. There's just no barrier. I can share anything. I feel I can share anything with her, and it'll be okay, even if it's the most horrific detail. It'll be okay. So that's a fantastic process, and in this we heal. I heal. There's more and more healing happening. I'm always saying
Yeah.
I'm full of scabs, but my scabs are falling off one by one, and this is also a process where your scabs are falling off, and underneath that scab is just beautiful new skin. Yeah,
That
so
is
I love this
absolutely
process.
beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And that's the thing, right, about this process. It's so unique. It's so genuine, right? because no one can
Yeah.
take away what you've experienced, right? No one can replace those emotions and that feeling of what had
Mm.
happened with you. And when you've been probed with the questions that she's been asking you, it does make you reflect a lot. And that leads me back to my next question to you, right? And Anna Marie, I think you can follow with that flow, right? It's about, what have you learned about yourself?
I didn't realize how courageous I was to say
Ah,
this is the end and I'm
yeah.
taking my life back. We talk about all the other things, but you forget that courage that it took, that it takes to say this is the last time. I'm not going back, even if you beg me, even if you promise anything, even if you give me the world, this is the end. And then to walk away and then have to start all over again. That is tremendous courage. And in this process, I didn't realize the courage. I didn't realize what it took to do that. I think and that's the main thing that I've learned.
I think a lot of
And
the
we all have
times,
it in us.
yeah.
Sorry,
I
we all have
No,
that
no, no.
courage in us. You just have to tap into it.
Yeah. And we don't realize at the time what we're doing until time has passed and
Yeah,
we reflect,
yeah,
right? Because we're so
yes.
in the mix of the melodrama, we're so mixed up in the emotions and the feelings of what's actually happening.
Mm,
And when we've passed all of those emotions and we've stopped and we've come to the end, we don't realize what we've done. We don't realize how far
yeah,
we've come,
true.
right?
Yeah.
And we tend to not understand how much of compassion it took to actually get to where we were.
Yeah, and you know what we don't do? We don't say to ourselves, well done. I have to say to myself, well done, that you could do it and that you're here and that you could change your life and you know, I'm at this stage of my life and it's well. It is well with me.
Yeah,
So we have to say well done to ourselves and we don't do that.
yeah. We're not kind enough to ourselves. We're kind to other people
Yeah,
because we want to be kind to others and give to others, but we don't be kind to ourselves, nor do we give to ourselves either. Because we don't
yeah,
acknowledge
true.
ourselves as a person or as the first person before someone else, right?
Yeah,
So,
very
yeah.
true.
Yeah, Atish?
I think you touched on exactly what I wanted to say is that I didn't recognize and honor and acknowledge myself at
Yeah.
all until I experienced loss. And then I was like, okay, so am I just an ID number? Am I just going to be something that's an account number that's going to be closed at the end of the day? Like, what about myself have I even celebrated or loved about myself? I mean, what are people going to say when I pass on? Is it just going to be reading out my LinkedIn CV because that's all I've done? It's that kind of thing. It reevaluated my entire life, and I think what I learned about myself in this process is that every time I do something different, even though it's related to my story, there's something else about me that comes alive.
Yeah.
Um, and when I was a human book, or when I was giving talks at like the future females, like all these different places, a part of me kept reinventing itself. And
Hmm.
this journey, taking it into a creative space, I think for me was a really good thing because it was bringing me back to my feminine side. And it was like, okay, let's just chill with the masculine having to organize and sort life and do everything by yourself. You are
Yeah.
now able to be a feminine and to allow feelings to flow onto art. And I think that's what I learned about myself is that I need to allow to myself to experience everything in a very fluid, happy, feminine
Mm.
way. Because it's going to create something beautiful at the end of
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. I think even with this process as well, as we go along, I mean, when I went through this process as well, it taught me a lot of more insights about, certain aspects that I never understood until that probing started happening, Anna Marie, right? And still the compassion
Mm.
that comes out from this process as well, because we do take it for granted that not realizing how far but also the choices and decisions that led us to come to the point where we've come, right? Because
Mm.
each path and each
Yeah.
choice and each decision we made led us to become, braver and have more courage and,
Yeah.
be more kind to ourselves, and not realizing in that process that we were doing it, but we didn't understand how we were doing it, nor did we acknowledge how we were doing it. And that's
Yeah.
what's nice about this, the exhibition itself, where it brings out this process where people understand better and have more self compassion for themselves as
Mm.
well. It does give storytellers much, much more than what they think of just sharing. Again, it's a very different concept. So, I mean, we talked about, what you've been learning. So, has there been any surprises, so far with this whole, with the artist, with you guys, behind the scenes, writing your articles? Anything came up that surprised you guys that, you thought, oh, wow, okay, I do not know this. Because at the last exhibition, there was a few of those, and I was like, okay, I did not know that too. But I'm glad to learn this with you. So has anything stood out for you guys, Anna Marie?
No, at the moment, nothing. But I think because we're still in the process. But the
Okay.
surprise for me will be because I've asked Antonella not to show me the painting. So
Yeah,
I
you
would be
great there.
surprised. Forward. I'm looking forward to see what is it that she's actually created. Um,
The
I
big
can't wait
reveal.
to see that. I want to see. Yeah, I want to see the full picture. I'm not somebody that can start and then I can't even watch one of these reality series. I just want to know who wins at the end. So I always watch the last episode. So that's the same thing
Okay.
here. I don't want to see the whole process. I
Okay. I
I
learned
just want
something
to
new
see
about you
the
right
end
now.
product.
So okay. Okay. All right.
So
Adish,
that's
for
what I'm
you?
looking forward to see what is
Okay.
done. And
Cool.
Yeah, well, from my side, I mean, obviously seeing what she's created is it's not going to be a surprise more than it is going to be what is my gut reaction? How am I going to feel when I see it, like
mm,
for real, right in front of me? Um, because yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's like how much of my emotion is going to kind of smack me in the face as soon as I see it, because I've been part of this journey. This is me, the person that she's put in there is kind of a depiction of my insides. So yeah, that's going to be a huge surprise. And I think what also surprised me quite a bit was that being able to speak to an artist, I I haven't realized how much of passion that they hold inside of them.
Oh,
We
so
don't
much.
we don't normally go around
yeah,
making friends with artists for some reason. It's like if you're in a corporate space, everyone's in a corporate mindset. The closest I get to is like your designers, your animators, that kind of thing. But someone who actually takes the time to do hand drawings. There's so much of passion in them, and yeah, I really want to spend more time with artists because
Yeah.
that sunshine vibe of theirs is so nice to be around.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I think that surprised me is that I need to find more people like this. I need to be around more people like this because they are, yeah, they're just sunshine.
They do see the world very differently, right?
Yeah,
Artists are very, very emotional. They are very in touch with their feelings when they create. And that's the difference, with them. And it doesn't matter the type of art, it's any type of, I believe, art, any type of art is the way that you express. I
yeah,
mean, a few years ago,
mm,
somebody called me an artist, and I'm like, what do you mean? I don't draw. That's the first thing I said, right?
yeah,
I don't draw, I don't paint. And then he said to me, but you create things, that concepts that you create in your mind, and you put this together and you make it real. I was like, oh yeah, I do that. And you don't
mm,
realize, and I truly believe that there's an artist in everyone. As long as you can connect to your heart and connect to your emotions, you will be able to express the artistry in you, right?
yeah,
So I mean, I created those videos, right, from nothing. So because getting to know you guys, those ones that I sent out, right? The ones that I know, I create, I see,
Yes.
I say, okay, what is the story? So I call if I have to say what an artist I am, I say I'm a storyteller. But I create stories
Mm.
in different diverse forms, right? So, and you're so true. When you start connecting, with your heart again and bringing out the emotions, what I also find is sound and movement is the next thing that I'm working towards, because sound and movement as well brings also a different type of aspect of expression. You need to understand, you need to look, it's okay, it's a layer deeper, right? It's much deeper. It's much deeper
Yeah.
as to how do you connect with sound and movement, and how do you incorporate that with words in order to express. So it's a little project that I'm working in my mind, the way that I can create different concepts. But yes, I think that is, definitely. So my last question to you guys, well, not last question, second last question. You guys were at the first exhibition, right? I think recently, I think about a week or 2 weeks ago, I put up the testimonial video that we took of some of the people that was there. And so happens the two of you guys were there as well. So at the last exhibition, what is your experience? And it was the first exhibition. So what is your feeling there? Anna Marie?
I was just, I didn't know what it was. We were invited to just support Bridget, which was one of the artists. We had no idea what it was, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was just actually, it was the I've never thought about this concept. It's so new, but it was so it was actually the whole process to me was very exhilarating to see that somebody can make this beautiful piece of art about somebody else's story and capture their feelings, capture both the artist's feelings as well as and emotions, as well as the storyteller's feelings and emotions, and that was just for me mind blowing. And that I just loved from the first time the first thing that we saw, the first exhibition. I love the concept.
Oh, and now you're in it. So,
Yes.
Tishka,
Wow.
Atisha, you can go ahead.
Sure. I think for me, what stood out, being at the first one was, again, coming from my story and, my triggers and my emotions. It was the whole thing around there is something being created that's a part of you that's going to be left behind. Because I struggled with that quite a lot with death and grief. It's like, once you're out of earth, you're like out of earth. No one's going to remember you 3 generations down the line, that kind of thing. So for me, that was always something that I was still busy working on, even whilst you were doing this exhibition. And seeing that something is being created that's being left behind, that encapsulates someone's story and their journey, it just feels like they're leaving something of themselves for someone else to
Mm.
appreciate and to learn from. And for me, that was a very important thing in my life. So, that was what stood out the most, I think, being in that exhibition, is that, wow, they going to, and especially when it was auctioned off and it was going to different homes, and you see that whole thing, and the artist is there, and they're like, I hope this gets a really nice home, and then the storyteller is like, this is my story, please, appreciate it, love it, take care of it in your new home. And you just find that the story is going around. It's like a moving story, which is
Yeah.
what I really like that
Mm.
about it.
You brought this up again, and I have to challenge you on this, right? So I'm gonna ask you to do a personal thing for me. If you mentioned about passing on and you leaving this earth and how people are going to remember you. So because I teach corporates and organizations about bringing up a lot of awareness. So if I want you to do me a favor, and you and I can have a conversation offline, okay? I want you to write a eulogy.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you pass on, and if somebody has to write a eulogy about you and on the day that you pass on and they share, what would that eulogy look like for you?
It's funny you should say that, because I've done one. My life
Okay.
coach asked me to do one.
Yeah.
And that was when she first met me, young and
Mhm.
sprightly in corporate, trying to climb the corporate ladder. that kind of thing. And her first question to me was, "What would you be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm in my 30s. Like, what does she mean?" What do you want to be when you grow up? And it's only after she told me the whole process of, what, just write your eulogy and see what it says. And
Yeah.
when I saw the extent of what it was, I knew that's not all I wanted it to be. So
Yeah.
I would actually love to do that again, is to
There
write
you
my
go.
eulogy the way it
Yeah.
is of who I am right now in this moment.
So,
Yeah, we can, I mean, I'm happy to share that with you, or whether it's with Open
yeah.
Mic Foundation,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. Let's do
you
that.
know,
Let's do that, right? Because sometimes, because I do these soul mapping retreats, right, would just be, people have this thing about, okay, what do I leave behind? What do my footprint be? What do my children remember me? So it's like, sometimes you need people to understand things about themselves first. So if you want people to see you in a certain way, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What have you done so far? What are you currently doing? And what would that eulogy look like?
yeah,
And you tell me if you have lived up to what you believe that would be. Because only you are going to know what that eulogy would be, no one else, right? But it's
exactly.
also bring about light in the sense of, okay, the direction that you want to continue going forward today. Eulogies are a very powerful tool to understand. Again, we don't talk about it because we think eulogy is related to death. It is. However, it
Yeah.
is actually quite an interesting way of understanding yourself. Has to, if I have to write my eulogy today, what would that look like? How would people remember me? you know how would people remember me? What would be the first thing that they would think of if I have to pass away? What would you think about me, right?
Well, the one thing I can safely say right now is that I am a meme queen. I find the most perfect meme for every single conversation.
Ah,
Perfect meme, perfect picture, perfect. Yeah,
ah,
that's kind of my trademark, even at work. So
Okay, but
yeah,
that's the thing, right? we
but that's only
we have
recently
these,
developed. Yeah,
right?
and that as well, it's a recently developed thing because it's a form of expression that
Yes.
I didn't allow myself to have before. So you see how that whole death of ego in that whole
Yes.
grieving process allows you to find that confidence and that courage to say, "Oh well, you know what? I have a voice. I have something to say. So let me just say it."
Exactly, right? I mean, what would people remember you for? Would people remember for what you've done for them, or what you're doing? What footprint would we leave? And a lot of people don't think about that.
Mm.
They don't. And it's not to say there's a right or there's a wrong way of doing it, right? It's also not to say what you're doing now is right or wrong. However, it does make you think about the actions and choices and decisions you make as you move off. Okay, maybe I should show more kindness to people so that I will be remembered for my kindness. Maybe I should smile more. Guys, I have seen the most grumpiest people over this weekend. My soul, do people not laugh anymore?
ah,
No, I am so serious. People do not have a sense of humor. They don't laugh. They don't
yeah,
smile.
yeah.
They're so serious.
It was
And
month end. Maybe the debit orders were going through.
no, man.
Ah, ah.
I was
I
shocked.
actually walked out of. No, it's true, Shes. I actually walked out of a sorbet this afternoon because they were
Yeah,
so rude. They didn't even greet. There's no smiles. There's just nothing. It was just
I
terrible.
see
And it's
so
true.
much
Even
of
if you were in
sadness
the
and
shops and
emptiness in
people
people.
don't look at, yeah, people don't look at you anymore. They just, I think the mask and everything that it took that away, which is like, we don't see each other anymore.
Yeah,
I think
I
people are
so
just adjusting to not having the masks, so they have to show other
Yeah,
forms of
yeah.
expression
yeah.
instead of just smiling with the eyes.
I said to a lady, I said to her, you know what? You actually look so beautiful. And she looked at me and she thought maybe I was smoking something. I have no idea. My son said, maybe you shouldn't be so kind to her, mom. And I'm like, that's strange. Why would I not be kind to people? I mean, I talk to anyone, right? So for
Yeah.
me, like, but I think she probably was having an off day. I don't know. Maybe she felt insulted. But anyway, all right, ladies. So I am looking forward to seeing you guys on the 3rd of September. Excited to see what you
Yes.
guys have created into this whole inspiration and stuff. Guys, to get your tickets, please visit our website. The tickets are on sale on the website itself. I am going to put that into the comments at this moment. You're going to see the website coming up. Please log and get your tickets as soon as possible. It is in Midrand again. Come and support local businesses. We have one corporate sponsor that has come up already, and they have actually bought a package. You're not just supporting the foundation. I mean, you're supporting the
Wow.
local artists. You're supporting a whole lot of. You're supporting a community out there that you probably never thought that you would be supporting. And when you enter into the space of community, you find a lot of things that you can resonate with. So I'm asking guys, please come out, come have some fun, come have some laughter. We also have two poets, two young, amazing poets that's coming on. You're going to meet them in the next 2 weeks with the artist. And these two youngsters have, wow, words, hey, have the most strong power. It either moves you, shifts you, or it really changes your life. These two have done some amazing poetry, amazing work, and such deep emotions coming out of these two. And they're so young. So young. So, yes, guys, thank you so much. And please join us on the 3rd of September in Madrid. Get your tickets. I have put it into the comments there. Ladies, any final words from you?
I just want to say, come and support us, please. I want to see everybody that knows me. Please come and support us on the 3rd of September. It would be fantastic to have you there. Come and have a different experience that might change your life. You never know. So I'm
Look
looking
at
forward to
you.
it. I'm looking forward to see a lot of people there.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Letitia, from last words from you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, this is an open invite to practically everyone that,
Yes.
that follows us and stuff like that. It's please do come in and join us because, I mean, for those of you who know me, I'm pretty much an introvert. I don't do a lot of things outside of my house. You probably haven't seen me for the last 2 years, but I would love to catch up with everyone. And what better way than for you to actually see me, the authentic me, the vulnerable me, the me with the story. So come in, join us, meet my friends, meet our storytellers. Yeah, we are a very special type of people. We are very heart centered. So we would love to have you all join us. Um,
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, definitely do join us. We'd love to have you.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much. I don't want to take up more of your time. I think Martin is really running late. I think he didn't get off his family event that he had. So I will touch base with him a little bit later. But ladies, thank you so much. And thank you for, creating and inspiring. It's been such an honor to have you at this exhibition and for you guys being part of this as well. I think the last 6 to 8 months, you guys have played a really phenomenal role at the foundation itself, just sharing, what the foundation is about. And we always look forward to welcoming you back again. So, ladies, thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, viewers, those that were on. There has been no questions, so I don't want to prompt them. It is late afternoon as well. So, guys, have a fantastic day and happy Women's Day this Tuesday in South
Oh,
Africa.
thank you.
Yes, happy Women's Day.
All right,
Thank you,
guys. Thank you
Shays.
so
Good
much,
evening.
everyone.
Good evening,
I hope
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.